KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex. Presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Ask an NFLer is the term that I'm going to use on this thing with Sly on the program here with us. Random thoughts pop into my head. We were just talking about when you're at home, you stay in a team hotel. Right. Are you allowed to order as much room service as possible?
No.
This is the NFL, man.
No, not at all.
Roger Goodell. This is Roger Goodell money.
Oh, no, it's not. They got your information. Everybody who stays in that room, they know exactly who stays in there, who ordered what. Yeah, the staff knows you, all of that stuff. No, this came from exactly Stevenson Sylvester. He's the one who ordered this. That will call you even before we leave. Like, what?
Don't even look at the mini bar.
Oh, yeah. Because I think they tell the staff, if they order room service, don't acknowledge it at all.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah.
These guy's he's going to tell you he's hungry, he's fainted. Don't believe him. He's an offensive lineman.
Casey Hampton always loved some room service at midnight.
But you know what? Like if it's on your own card, fine. They'll say at this point the team goes, don't even order your own stuff. We are in charge of your nutrition over the next 48 hours.
Well, we are. I mean, you got a training room downstairs. You got a big room where they got tons of food, tons of desserts, all this stuff. You should not be hungry. They got to-go plates where you can put it in your room, microwaves, all that stuff. You should not have to order anything unless you're a Lush.
I was gonna say,
and you go to and we're playing Dallas and you want to get some Whataburger.
Hey. He knows his stuff.
Like, unless you have specifics that you want to do, but they don't regulate you like that.
Yeah.
You're an athlete. You're a professional.
You're playing in Dallas, and the downstairs commissary's got Bluebell ice cream. You got to go down and get it. You got to the Whataburger.
Yeah, but if you're a professional and you're not ready to go for the game, that is your fault, and you're at risk from being cut.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So you need to do what you need to do to be better.
See, that's one thing I'd love to do as a head coach in the NFL just for 1 minute. You go in there and you go, I just want to – because I think that coaches do this. They'll send a message with a guy who isn't going to make it through camp anyway.
Right.
And they'll go, your phone goes off during a meeting, and then they just or maybe you plant a guy.
You want to do that?
The phone goes off in the meeting, and you go, you're gone. You're cut, bro.
You want to do that?
I wouldn't really do it to a real guy. I think I would plant somebody. It would be just some
intimidate everybody in the room.
John Jones from Yale.
Alex is about that life. Alex is about that life.
Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. I don't care if you had that Ivy League education. He's like, and then I'd have him I would hire an actor, and he would go through this whole song and dance. I'd be like, I don't even care. Get out of here. And then he'd walk out, and then I send the message, Send the message. Okay, anybody else got their phone on? Anybody else losing focus? Boom. I'd have you do it. I'd bring you in as my guy who just cuts dudes. All the former NFL guys are. It's a trauma. It's a trauma that you guys lived through.
Oh yeah,
and
you do not bring your phone in. If you bring your phone in, you got to be Hines Ward, Ben Roethlisberger, or something to where it's just like you're not getting cut.
But like the idea of cuts coming up. All that stuff.
Oh yeah,
like you had. I bet you have dreams about it still to this day.
Every year,
like you just like wake up and you're like cold sweat.
Every year,
return your playbook. Whoa!
Oh yeah,
I would imagine it's terrifying. It's terrifying. I have no clue what that'd be like. But you guys go through a certain level of trauma. My brother's roommate in college. We went and watched him, and it was his last. We knew he knew it was his last. He's like, he had an awesome preseason game. He had a cup of tea with the cup of coffee with the Cardinals, and it's his last preseason game, and he knows it. And he had a hell of a game. He was like, it doesn't matter. I know where I'm at. And I remember walking by, and we got to go down and hang out, and he's coming through the tunnel, and Mean Joe Green was the defensive line coach at the Cardinals. I don't think he is anymore, and I remember just being like, "There's Mean Joe Green." Right? Like I was starstruck. And at the same time, this guy's
trying
entire
to reenact the Coca-Cola commercial.
right. Throw me that. Hey Joe, yeah, throw me that jersey. No, and I remember he's walking through the tunnel and he was having like a little moment because that was it, right? And he got on the bus and he got off the bus, and they told him at the hotel, they're like, "Hey, turn the playbook in. Thank you so much." And he flew back to the team. He flew back to Arizona. His stuff was already packed up for him.
For him?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It was a special level.
So at those points, my rookie year coming in, of course, my spot wasn't guaranteed. I always had my bag packed.
That's some real.
I don't want nobody to touch my stuff.
That is some psychological warfare these guys do.
I'd always have my bag packed. And in the fact that when they told me, they didn't even tell me I made the team for one. I'm just like, am I waiting on this call? Who's supposed to call me? Let me just go into these meetings like it's normal. And but nobody even talked to me as if I just saw there were guys not there, but nobody said hey, you made the team. It was just. There's
that famous video that New York Jet going to the facility and his car didn't work. And I don't think he was actually cut. It just really wasn't working. But that's a bad trick to play on somebody.
It's bad.
That's terrible.
It's bad.
All right, welcome to the program. Is that a long enough welcome there, Jeremy? That's fine. All right, we got some gambling stuff to talk about, and I figured you could weigh in. Let's get the show kicked off as we always do. Our show's brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar perfect for anybody who needs a quick, tasty, and nutritious boost. Man, Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, all of it. Give it a shot. Let's kick off everything with the cut here at the top of the hour, and let's jump in.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is What Made the Cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The cut this hour brought to you by Doug Smith Dealerships in American Fork and Spanish Fork. Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, all of it. Great service starts with great know-how, and nobody knows like Doug. So the Dodgers' super megastar, Shohei Ohtani. I think baseball needs him enough that they're also looking for a way out, right? Does that sound like it would be the way? Like, there is enough evidence there to be, it's definitely like a where there's smoke, there's fire type of a thing. But the allegations are apparently that his former translator bet millions with a bookie in Orange County and allegedly had stolen money from Ohtani's account to cover the debt. Ohtani said he's never bet on sports. And obviously, that's the line that you have to give, regardless of what happens, because you're not going to play.
Answer.
You can't be like, no, I bet on bowling only, like that. You can't say that.
No, because then you'd have a problem. You go in the program
through his brand new interpreter. Shohei Ohtani said, "I'm very saddened and shocked that somebody that I trusted has done this." He then also denied that he took place in any sort of gambling. I never bet on baseball or any other sports, nor have I ever asked anybody to do that on my behalf. Okay? So there's that line. I don't know how much baseball is going to investigate this. There's no, aside from the money being stolen, because what they did, Ohtani and his guys, Ohtani's camp, and you have a camp when you're a $700 million
Yeah, I was about to say,
guy.
It's like, I don't know what that means.
You have a camp. You have a camp. That's the type of number. You get $700 million, you have a group of people.
Instantly.
And his camp is saying, hey, look, he's never bet on any of this stuff. And the crazy thing is the idea of $4.5 million being wired from his account to an interpreter, to his now former interpreter. And he had to say, hey, look, we had to call the police because we were stolen from. I got stolen from. Because that was the move they had to make so that they could start a legitimate investigation against this guy. By the way, a guy who allegedly has lied on his resume about his translation jobs in Major League Baseball. If you put the Yankees on your resume, that's real gutsy. That's a ballsy move for a guy who the Yankees and Red Sox both he put on his resume as having interpreted for them for other Japanese players over the years, and it never happened. You can't make a phone call, Dodgers, to them?
Everybody's too busy. Oh, I believe it.
Right.
It just happens.
It probably, obviously, if some guy says, I played third base for the Yankees, that's different. They don't care if it's a translator. They go, yeah, fine. If the player's comfortable with him, then good.
Right.
They don't care. They're not going to go, well, it turns out he didn't translate for the Red Sox. If Ohtani goes, yeah, but he's my guy, then that's it.
Right.
That's the end of it.
Simple as that.
And he's I don't know if he's a team employee at that point, but I think that they are. They're hired by the team. So he had this happen. Baseball has already got an issue, right? They've had the issues of the past. There's the cheating scandals. Gambling has already been something that has been a massive black eye to this sport. When we have gambling at the level that we do now, which is it's pervasive across all of the major sports, where their biggest, if not their biggest advertisers, then some of their biggest advertisers are these gambling houses now, right? The Caesars, the MGM, all of it. All these betting houses are now in bed with all of these leagues. They're making billions of dollars off of these betting places, and they can't go back now, Sly. Like, that's the end of it. The Major League Baseball, NFL,
NBA.
the NBA, they can't go. They're in bed with them now. There's enough money rolling in that they cannot. There's a reason that the cap dollars have gone up like they have. There's a reason, because the money that's coming in on advertising
It's pouring in.
is insane. And so
People who don't care about sports just have, I just want to bet something, and they're all over it.
here's what it said. Here's what is kind of continued here, and I bet it's going to end really quickly, because baseball. He is the face of baseball and will be for a long time.
No question.
When Mike Trout is on your team, you know that he's been with the Angels, and he was a afterthought as a really, really good baseball player, and as a former MVP, obviously of the league, and probably a future Hall of Famer. He was a way afterthought. This is the newest, sexiest sports figure in all of sports right now, because he's a starting pitcher. He hits bombs, and it's all the things that we love about this guy. But one of the things was, he's this straight-laced, clean-cut, like all of these things came with him.
We're going to keep that image.
And baseball wants it so bad. He got married, a few weeks ago, and they show him and her, and they show her every time they're in the stands, and it's this like dream situation for baseball. This is a nightmare, and so. Even if there is a little bit of impropriety, I can see baseball just being like, we're going to kind of just.
We've done our investigation, and Shohei had nothing to do.
And you
with
know
it.
what? Here comes Pete Rose and goes, "Hey, look, this is a bad look for you guys. Can't you just let me in the Hall of Fame now, please, please?" So it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. I don't think that and wouldn't you be a little bit more fired up about losing $4.5 million? It was like, it looks like a person I trusted stole from me. It's not $20 off the dresser.
For him, it is.
I guess it is.
I was just like, what does $4 million look for you? I'm like, the interpreter. How do you spell $4 million at one time? Like, you didn't break it up. He
called Phil Mickelson and be like, how do you spend a ton of money on gambling in like 2 seconds? Please.
Right? But I mean, yeah, if he spent it all, he took it all at one time. That's got to be a big red flag right there. But like $4 million to Shohei, like you have to have the confidence that, it's not going to raise any red flags. But, I mean, he got caught for it. Yeah. But it's just like that whole situation is just so weird. Like, why Shohei, like, who's in charge of your money? Normally with guys with camps, you have guys for every single section. Your interpreter has nothing to do with your money and so on and so forth. But
maybe you don't have anything to do with your money, and just the business manager is also 2 levels away from Shohei in a way, right?
Right.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, you got that much money, you can, this is going this direction.
By the way, speaking of money, it's kind of crazy because we were looking at somebody was asking me, they're like, how much did Danny Sprinkle actually make? At Montana State, it was $185,000. Utah State, it was approaching $1 million, $900,000. Crazy. $3.2 million next year with Washington.
Well, that's nice.
So whether or not you're wondering, why did you leave? It's like, don't ask anymore. Don't ask anymore, because every one of you would do the same. I don't care. The most ardent Utah State fan is like, look, if the best you can get is 2.5 times less than that, then my goodness. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got more to go around the corner. When we do, let's jump in a little bit on our NFL topics for the day. Good thing Sly's here to kind of walk us through some of these crazy things that are happening, including, remember when you used to love watching basketball on Christmas Day? I don't think you're ever going to get it back. The NFL is going to take over everything. Plus, a guy who played defense in the NFL, Sly, I'm going to ask you about the hip drop tackle and the ban on that. So we'll come back. We got more to go around the corner. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
all the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome back. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, JJ and Alex. Stevenson Sylvester joining me in studio in place of JJ. Sly, thanks for hanging out, man.
Of course, brother. Appreciate you.
This is when the rubber really meets the road here. We got some NFL content, okay? Our normal time might be taken over by BYU's practice getting done and then us getting a player. Fingers crossed. But we'll see. That's next hour. Before we give away some Jazz tickets here, let's jump in on some of these NFL topics. The NFL and Christmas. It's not the NBA anymore. The NFL's announced it's going to have 2 Christmas Day games, a doubleheader on the 25th of December, and I am here for it. It's a Wednesday, but no one cares. Like, no one thinks of Christmas as being, yeah, but it's a Wednesday. It's Christmas.
Everybody's off. It's the weekend.
It's not, yeah. It's not just that. It's just Christmas. You don't have to say, yeah, but it's a Tuesday. We get it, but it's Christmas. And where are we on Christmas? Sitting in front of the freaking TV. All right? That's where we're going to be. All right? Eating some nice food. I'm talking about in the afternoon, right? Get through the whole Christmas morning thing. Great. But the 2 highest rated games on Christmas, 1 o'clock Eastern was the highest rated. And then 4:30 Eastern was the lowest rated. But it had 27.5 million as the lowest rated game on television. Okay, so the league says, yeah, it's pretty good.
I'll take it.
Because I don't know Jeremy. I'm asking you to do something impossible here. What do you have? NBA games or what do you have?
An NBA Christmas
Day
see,
game. That's it. That Jeremy's been producing for a long time for me because he knew my brain was going, where those NBA games?
I did a little Googling.
What do you have?
A couple games was one 2.85 game was the average for the whole day, 5 games. 2.85 million
for basketball.
Overall. Looks like the highest was about 5 million for Celtics Lakers.
Okay.
Which was still, 25% of the.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 5 times less.
Yeah.
Than
27, the lowest.
Yeah. The lowest. Nuggets was 4 million. Nuggets and Warriors. So
okay.
NFL rules all.
Whether or not you are like, hey, you messed up my traditions of watching basketball. The reality,
who says that, though?
Nobody. The reality is that you vote with your TV and you have it on the NBA game. The NFL game. And I'm right there. Was it 2 years ago that Alvin Kamara ran for 6 touchdowns? He scored 6 touchdowns on Christmas Day, right?
Something like that. Well,
it was like a record. It was on Christmas Day, and he had a 6-touchdown game. And I went, what's awesome about that is everybody saw it.
Right.
Everybody got to see it. And so 29% spike in viewership on Christmas.
I bet Jerry Jones can be all over that. It's like Cowboys versus Eagles on Thanksgiving, Cowboys versus Eagles on Christmas. We're good.
Yeah. And then they're all, I don't know. Cowboys, are you available for New Year's as well? Can we get that going? Cowboys
we'll
are
do
like,
Giants. We'll do the Giants.
Yeah.
They're not going far in the playoffs, so they got room.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Look at that.
There we are.
See, that's a self-deprecating fan base right there, okay? Now, I don't know. Jeremy, at this point, is a converted Texans fan, right?
Texans and Cowboys?
Oh, come on. You can't be both.
You can't be a tweener in Texas. Come on, man.
The Oilers left. What am I supposed to do? The team came back.
The team came back.
Oh, we're sorry. A new
Oilers
team.
left.
See, that's my favorite. The Oilers left, so I became a huge Cowboys fan.
So when Seattle gets a new team, what are you going to do?
What do you mean a new team? Will I cheer for a team? Let's do the comparison. When a new NFL team rolls up to the Tri-Cities area in Washington, will I be a fan? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Okay? Just like
Portland, whatever comes to town.
Portland even worse. Portland even worse. They get a Major League Baseball team or an NBA team, an NFL team. My heavens, no way. Look, when St. George gets an NFL team and we don't here in Salt Lake, then yes, You'll
go down there?
I'll be a St. George Saint forever. All right. That's what we need is look. We already stole the Jazz from New Orleans. Let's get the Saints here, but put them in St. George. All right?
Jeez. So they can keep a little warm weather.
The St. George Saints. And they'll be like, what is this like fleur-de-lis stuff down in southern Utah? Don't worry about it. Same reason that the Jazz doesn't really work in Salt Lake, but it does now. It's become its own brand. Okay. So there you go. You're going to be watching NFL on Sunday is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're killing it. I mean, the $27 million.
On the lowest rated game. By the way, that was the lowest rated game.
If you ever wanted to chill, is it basketball or is it football? The easiest question for me is football.
Yeah. I don't know. You're the first former player that I met that's like, oh, I can just relax watching a football game because most of them are like.
I said if you are relaxing, you're on the couch. Like if you think of Thanksgiving, you think of Christmas when you want to chill.
100%.
Would you rather have football on, whether it's turkey bowl, Thanksgiving?
Sly's gonna play in my turkey bowl up in my neighborhood this coming November.
Oh yeah, and we're playing with pads, just like
just
like wedding crashes.
Some
Hot
12,
route.
Some 12-year-old getting blown up.
Take that. I'll be the office linebacker any day. Terry Tate, baby, showing up.
Sure. All right. Let me ask you about the hip drop tackle.
Oh gosh.
This is one that you've utilized. Would you imagine in a million years that a tackle that wasn't a horse collar, was not a head-to-head, like a helmet-to-helmet contact, that we're saying that this is going to be a new way. We're going to have to learn in a brand new way of tackling because I look at it from like a Little League standpoint too, Sly. You're going to have parents yelling, that's a hip drop tackle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be so annoying.
It's going to be awful. All right, so your thoughts on the hip drop tackle ban?
Man, I loathe it. I hate it. I'm just like, I think the people who, and this is how we felt, back in 11 after the CBA when they were making all kinds of other adjustments. I just felt that people that are making these rules have never played the game before. They don't understand how hard it is to do our job in the first place. And then you repeatedly take things away from us, from tackling the quarterback. I will never forget, I was playing in the league, and I think the Ravens were playing the Patriots, and Terrell Suggs lands at the feet of Tom Brady. It was at the end of the game where it was crucial. He's incomplete pass, but
out comes the hanky.
He gets a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The Patriots ended up winning the game because of that. He didn't touch Tom Brady at all, but he landed at the feet and got a penalty. And I'm just like, what? I was just like, how do we play? And then you look
that was my favorite. Now they're like, yeah, but that linebacker tackled him with all of his weight.
All of his weight.
And you're like,
duh. What do you want me to do? Like,
he hit that quarterback and he landed on top of him. Oh, what are we doing?
Until you see the Kevin Hart one where he's just like, hey, all right, you grab my legs, you pick me up, and you hold me down, and you ease me down. Wait, where's my pillow? Where's my blanket?
That's where we've gotten now.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect a former defender to think any other way, but at the same time, I'm trying to think about it from a viewer standpoint. It makes watching the game less fun because, and here's the litmus test, me explaining it to my kids who are pretty new to watching it on TV or whatever, like, let's say my 12-year-old goes, so why was that a penalty? And I'm all, well, you see here, that's a hip drop tackle. And then you go, oh, yeah, but did he hit him with his helmet? Well, that's an interesting question. No, but you know where the ACL is? You know where the MCL is? You could get a full knee. You'd have to maybe get a full knee replacement if he's tackled in a different way. Okay, so what is it again? When you have a hard time explaining how it works, then you're like, I already have had to take. So I did the USA football, the coaches training to be able to coach my kids' teams over the years. And at one point it shifted, and you started watching videos of Pete Carroll explaining the rugby tackle, right? And kind of the new way of tackling guys with your head to the side, which is not the way that you and I learned, right? It was nose on the football, right?
Put your face on him.
Put your face on him, get the nose on the football, and if the face is the first thing that touches him, then you're probably doing it right? But don't put your head down. That was the only rule for us.
Right.
Don't put your head down.
Everybody knew the jam in the spine. You don't want to do that. So that's why you put your face up, you put your face on.
So now, explaining how to tackle in 2024, look, I get it. I get it. We want player safety. But do we really? Because the better thing to do is to say, hey, NFL teams, you all need to go over to natural turf. If you're really that serious about the health of the player, then get all grass. Because the numbers straight up say more guys tear their ACL on turf than they do on grass. Why aren't we doing anything about that? Why isn't that part of the CBA? The reality is that doesn't create more scoring. right?
That doesn't save the money.
It doesn't, right? And the teams are like, we don't want to change over to. Are you telling me I have to put in turf? That's one thing the Raiders do right.
Hire more groundskeepers.
Right. That's one thing the Raiders do right. Dome and natural grass. And you know what they do when the college teams come to town? They go, don't mess with our grass.
Shift this out. Yeah, they got the grass sitting
outside. Don't mess with our grass, dude. I don't want
that. That stadium?
Yes, twice. I've watched 2 games
the grass outside to get the sunlight.
Yeah, same thing. They do the same thing in Arizona.
Yeah.
Same thing in Arizona.
Yeah.
You can't, come on. If Arizona and the Raiders, who mismanage funds all the time, if they can do it, we can make it happen. All right? Oh, my goodness. All right. What do you think about Deion Sanders telling his guys that if they get drafted by a place that they don't want to go, to just sit it out? Because it's not just Shedeur anymore. It's all the players.
Yeah. It's parental delusion. It is. I mean, you have your kids' best interest at heart, but I do think that reality doesn't set in, and you're going to do your kids a disservice by trying to cut in and do things for them instead of letting them be a man or be a woman or be an adult and make decisions and let things happen. You know, if you get drafted to the team that you want to, make that happen. He's like, it's going to be an Eli situation. I'm just like, bro, that is the worst. And the fact that Deion is saying that ahead of time, he's prefacing, he's setting something up. He's very smart in that case. But I think that this is something where you're causing more havoc, more trouble with everything. We already have trouble with the NIL understanding for everybody. Now we're having more trouble with these guys developing and going to the next level because of interjection. And I again, this is parental delusion. My kid is going to go, he said Travis Hunter and him is going to go top 4. One of them is going to be number 1. The other one's going to be in the
number 3
of 4. And then he's like, don't forget about Shiloh either. I'm just like, bro, that is, I'm like, man, a great optimism. Any parent would think that. But again, that goes back to parental delusion for me. And I'm just like, man, you can wish whatever you want, and that's his standpoint. He's like,
so what's a reality of Shedeur Sanders? Do you think
I mean, right now, Deion is acting like LeVar Ball right now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And he's really rubbing people. For me, it's just like, man, just let it happen. If your guy is that good, he's good. You guys had a crap year last year, and just to say that your quarterback is going to be number 1 overall.
What are all the places that Deion played then? He went Falcons first, right?
Falcons, San Francisco, Dallas.
And then Dallas. And is that it?
No, Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore.
He ended as a Raven. Jeez.
Yeah, as a Raven.
He was a commander?
He was the Skins.
Yeah. So listen, here's what my whole deal is. If you have multiple people doing like this weird, I can't wait for next year's draft, okay? Because when Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter or whomever from Colorado gets their name called, and it's to Chicago, it's to I'm trying to think of Minnesota. Well, Minnesota plays in a dome. Yeah, no, anywhere that because initially it was the cold weather, right? But then maybe it's historically the Browns and the Bengals have been kind of poorly run organizations, right? So it's like, oh, don't go there. Plus it's cold, but now they're winning, right?
Right.
So which one is it? Which one is it? When it happens, if like they have multiple guys going, I'm not going there, and they're all from Colorado,
you are teaching these kids
I cannot wait though.
Crazy in their minds. You're getting guys who aren't participating in nothing. You better take what it is, or what are you going to take me as I am, or nothing at all.
So why didn't anybody else do it after Eli did it? You know what I mean?
It's insane.
Yeah, but you got drafted by a fun organization.
Well, here's my thing. It's like,
what if you would have been drafted by the Browns?
Here's my thing. I didn't know I was going to get drafted. Right? So I'm in a different standpoint than these other guys.
Everything's gravy.
Right. So
okay.
Just pick me up, Atlanta. All right, pick me up, Houston, whatever it's going to be.
He's all throwing out a bunch of bad organizations.
At the times.
Right.
But I'm just like, I'm in a different scenario with them. But I just think like even the Eli's, all I remember from that situation is Eli's face when he took his picture. He was the most unhappy guy.
Oh, I'm looking it up because I always like to look at it periodically.
Yeah, I like to look at it. It's my affirmation board is Eli's face up here. But Eli's face at that moment, but I just thought it was just the craziest situation for that to happen. But now you're just creating more and more issues to the point to where people aren't going to even want to deal with your kid because they don't want to deal with that outside aspect. I mean, now you got Lonzo who doesn't even deal with Lamar.
I'm showing Sly the picture.
Yeah, it's
like somebody pooped in his pants for him.
For him. I was like, I got to sit in this diaper, and it's not even me, Dad. It didn't me this time.
You know what's funny, too? Archie Manning's right there. Can't Archie just go, hey, dude, I played in New Orleans. Suck it up, bro. You're going to San Diego.
The 1990s New Orleans, yeah.
1970s and 80s, right?
Oh, yeah,
like,
sorry.
Even earlier. Even worse, I'm talking paper bag times.
Yeah.
For the Saints. Come on, man.
Yeah. So
You're going to San Diego. You know who looks more disappointed? His mom. Jeez. Sister Manning
they
is
have
very mad about it.
Sister Manning. Yeah, they got expectations too. You know, they wanted to go certain places. They have conversations in the homes. Oh, we're going here,
Right.
and then somebody else. So she's just under the understanding that they'll do something else.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
So, yeah.
There's our NFL roundup. We got some tickets to give away. It's that time. It's a Ticket Tuesday, so let's give away some tickets to the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets coming up at Delta Center on the 29th. That is on Friday. So you want to go to Friday's game with the Jazz and the Rockets? Only a handful of times left to be able to go to Delta Center at this last portion of the year here. So let's check it out. You could be that person that says, you know what? I was there during the bad times, during the tanking years. I was there. I went and watched them play the Rockets.
True fan here.
You can win it. You can win those tickets right now. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663. 801-575-ZONE. Caller number 12 gets a pair of tickets to the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets on Friday. All right, we'll come back. We've got more to go. Got a Utah football spring update. No better person to ask than Sly, who's sitting right next to me here. So let's get the update next. We've got more to go right here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
And now your Ute Spring Football Update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. Your Utah Ute Spring Football Update right here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Curie, Stevenson Sylvester. Let me see here. You've been able to spend quite a bit of time up on the hill. Is this the most spring practice you've taken in? Because you're doing a lot of content for Utah 360, but it must be fun to kind of get the insider look, because it's extra special when Utah and Witt allows you to see more than the average person.
Yeah, because it's definitely Fort Knox up there. They got some G14 classified things that are happening. They
got drones floating over. And parking enforcement has nothing on the guys who drive by, and they have those little things now that just read the license plates on the way by.
Oh gosh,
you don't check out, you're toast, man. They're gonna get you. Yeah, have the trucks happened yet? Are you seeing 1 million trucks parked up there? Are there 1 million trucks parked up at the University of Utah's football practice facility, and you're like, oh my gosh, too many trucks here?
No, I mean, I see a lot of trucks, especially when I go to the 6 a.m. workouts.
Right.
Because that's the only one. Nobody else is up at 6 a.m. So you see a ton of trucks at that point. But, some of the guys, are still, driving their own cars. There's a lot of things that go into the trucks as well. You got to be good drivers. You got to have all these other things too.
So if your license has too many points on it, you're not the guy.
Exactly. I wouldn't be a guy who would get a truck. I am.
Whoa! Why?
Yeah, my driving is too elite.
Okay.
For the criteria.
Now, hold on. I already know how this works. When you're driving home to Vegas, do you ever hit triple digits going down to Nevada?
No.
Okay.
There's a lot of cops in Beaver that been pulled over. I got certain areas. There's certain areas, right? In that little cove right after St. George, when you get that little plaque of Arizona.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's traps all over the place.
Of course.
I've been pulled over 3 times there. Now, when I go over to Wendover, no hope no cops are listening to this right there. But that's when you that's when you open it up. I love it.
I've done the ride-alongs with UHP, and we did an I-81, and they were hosing people big time. What they're looking for, they're not looking for the speeders, Sly. They're looking for the drugs coming over from California on I-80.
Suspicious vehicle. So if I was in my minivan,
no,
I'd be good.
I'll tell you. You want to know what the suspicious vehicle is? Out-of-state license plates on a very straightforward rental car. That is the
on a rental car.
Oh yeah, because has to be reliable. Has to be like a silver, just you're not going to pay attention to it at all. That's the kind of thing. Tires are up to date, all that stuff.
So no rims, just basic stock rims, no tints.
Give me a Chevy Lumina Do they make the Lumina anymore? Give me a 1997 Chevy Lumina, silver.
Give me a reason.
It's got to have hubcaps. All right. All right. Let's talk a little bit about this Utah football team. And if you were somebody who looks because I've heard so much about how stacked this team is coming back. What's the position group that you go, yeah, no, they need help? That group needs help more than any other position group.
I mean, and this was so hard in spring, right? You're getting so much basic stuff. You got to project development in training camp because, honestly, there's people who can make a big jump from spring ball to training camp. And so, one, being those coaches, you got to have that understanding of like, okay, do I got to go back in the portal, fulfill this position, or can I trust this guy to be ready by the time training camp comes? And that's my 2 and 3 deep, right? That's where a big focus is trying to develop who the 2 and 3 deep are and in hopes of getting them ready for training camp.
So do they pull guys aside and go, hey, look?
No, nobody gets told that. No. If you don't get it by that point, unless they really want you to come through. They know your potential, they're valuing you a lot. They know they can expect something out of you. That's the only way they'll talk to you. But otherwise, no. If you don't get it, because, Utah's in such demand right now. You can't even really walk on. They'll hold walk-on tryouts, but, are you really giving yourself an opportunity at walk-on tryouts? They're in such demand. People will go there for anything. People want to be at Utah.
They'll give up those scholarships at other schools to be able to be a preferred walk-on.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. People will do that and understand. So it's just to get on at the University of Utah is not easy. And so they don't owe anything. They're run just like an NFL franchise, right? So many people want to be for the Steelers, right? Of course, it's free agency. You got to do all that. But it's not going to be hard to find. It's just like Deion's quote, right? Not hard to find. You can find people who say, I'm the University of Utah. I'm looking for a linebacker. Is there somebody that people will be like, me? As far as if I'm another school, it's not going to be as entertaining to go to.
Right. If you go to Utah right now, which must be appealing for these guys who are coming in, right?
Huge. Yeah.
Dorian Singer, I don't know what the number one pitch is to him, except for we're going to a conference where you will likely you have the shot of being a conference champion is really, really high, and that means you're going to be one of the top 4 teams in the college football playoff.
I talked to Dorian. His thing is just I understand what Utah is. They got a great history, as we just we just talked about all the wins, the consistency, this and that, and you got a great quarterback. Those are 2 things right there for me that's in my family to make a decision like this was easy.
Right. Huh. It's a good problem to have, right?
Right.
too many good players. It's hard to figure it out in spring.
Right. And that's
Can't
why
figure
I'm
it
just
out in spring. They're all too good.
I love going to practices, but there's just you can only take so much from that at this point right now.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we have Coach Tim Lacombe. He's going to break it down for us, this loss last night to the Mavericks, but also looking forward to the last 10 games of the season. By the way, 10 games is not insignificant. That's more than 10% of the season left still for this Jazz team. I'm not saying win a bunch of games and get yourself into the playoff discussion. That's out of the question. But what do the last 10 games look like for this Utah Jazz team? Tim Lacombe is going to join us next. Stay right here. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.